Hey guys, welcome to day 4 of our Staying the Course series. Today we're going to be talking about how staying the course sometimes means loving others no matter how they're going to respond. Today we're going to look at a story of God asking someone to stay the course in this way. Imagine this. God asks you to speak to people and serve them on an ongoing basis for years. And then he tells you that they are actually never going to listen to a word you have to say. Would you still be willing to do this? This happened to a man named Ezekiel in the Old Testament. God called him to be a prophet and speak to his fellow Israelites about turning from their wicked ways and following after God. And then he told Ezekiel that they're not going to listen to him. It says in Ezekiel 3:7, that God said, "But the people of Israel are not willing to listen to you because they are not willing to listen to me." And if I were Ezekiel, I would be asking God, why are we wasting time with a people like this? Why don't we go to someone who has open ears and open hearts to listen? But I don't know about you, but I'm so glad that God does not see us as a waste of time. Ezekiel stayed faithful in his ministry for God. He stayed the course that God had set him on. Later on in his life, God showed him something amazing. He took Ezekiel to a valley of dry bones, and he told him to speak over these bones. And as Ezekiel did, flesh began to grow back onto the bones, and they became living and breathing people. Imagine if Ezekiel had given up and not stayed the course that God had him on. If he had not been willing to follow after God, he would have missed out on seeing some pretty amazing things. So today, while you're on your mat, I encourage you to think about what God might be asking you to do. And sometimes he's going to ask you to love people or serve them even when it doesn't make sense. But we have to remember that God did not give up on us. Whenever we did not choose God, he stayed faithful to us. And so we can follow after him and love others in the same way. So with that, grab your mat and your water and let's get started. Alright friends, we're going to get started today in a child's pose on our mat, letting the chest come down onto the legs, reaching the fingertips forward. Close the eyes and let's take 3 deep breaths all together to begin our practice. Inhale through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, opening up through the lower back in this pose. Open mouth, exhale. One more deep breath in and exhale. Bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, drawing the wrists together and extending through the knuckles. Inhale, open up the chest, and exhale, slowly come high with the crown of the head, coming onto the knees. And then exhale, dropping those knuckles a little bit closer towards the ground, getting a slight arch through the back. Inhale, releasing the forehead back. Exhale out through the mouth. Great job. Inhale, reach the fingertips high. And exhale, hands to heart. Step that right foot to the side. And we're going to come into a gate pose. So inhale the fingertips out to a T. And exhale, drop the right hand down onto the leg. Left fingertips reaching open. Inhale, extending through the left side of the body. And exhale, reaching a little bit further. Great job. One more deep breath in, opening up through the right hip. And exhale, come back to center. Inhale, drop the left fingertips down to the mat or maybe onto a block. And exhale, reach through the right fingertips, elongating through the right leg and through the right side of the body. Inhale, extending and reaching. Exhale out through the mouth. One more deep breath here. Inhale. And exhale, swing the hands back onto the mat. Bring the right knee back under the hip and come into a tabletop position. Inhale, the fingertips high. And exhale, hands to heart center. Interlace the fingers and press the palms forward. Inhale, and exhale, drop the chin down into the chest and slowly take a neck roll to the right side, opening up through each side of the neck. And exhale, take those rolls to the left, reversing that motion, gently releasing any tightness and tension found in the neck. And then inhale, reach the palms towards the sky, keeping the fingers interlaced. Exhale, crescent moon to the right. Open up the left side of the body. Inhale back to center. And exhale, tilt over to the left, opening up the right side of the body. Inhale back to center. And exhale the hands down. We're going to bring that left foot to the side. Inhale the arms out to a T. And then exhale, drop the left hand down and find your gate pose on the left side. Extending through the right fingertips. Inhale. And exhale, reaching. Slightly pull that right shoulder back. Inhale one last time. And exhale, come back to center, release the right hand down and reach over with the left fingertips. Again, maybe using a block under that right hand if that makes this pose more accessible. Inhale, opening up through the left side of the body. And exhale, reaching. One more deep breath in. And exhale, swing the hands in front and come back into your tabletop position. Inhale. And exhale, slowly start to reach the hips high and come into your downward facing dog. Maybe bending one knee at a time, walking out your feet in your dog, and starting to open up the backs of the legs. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale the right toes high for three-legged dog. And exhale, step that foot in between the hands. Release the back knee and toes down and find your version of low lunge. So maybe you keep the hands planted down onto the mat or on blocks, or lift the fingertips high. Inhale. And exhale, slightly pulling that left hip forward and the right hip back. One more deep breath in this posture. And exhale, hands to heart center, and take that left elbow over to the right knee for a twisted low lunge. Bringing the chest over to the right side. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, twist. Great job. Get one more deep breath in your twist. And exhale, come back to center, plant the hands and send the hips back into a half split, reaching the right toes away from the mat. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, bending back into that right knee, come through your low lunge. Tuck the back toes and rise up into a high crescent lunge. Opening up the chest, let the shoulders come down and away from the ears, and sink the hips low in this lunge. Inhale, and exhale, release the back heel and open up for warrior two, extending the fingertips out, and again coming low into that right leg. Inhale, flip the front palm, and exhale, take it back for peaceful warrior. Left hand is rested on the back leg or wrapped around the body. Inhale, extending through the right side, and exhale, come back to warrior two. Inhale, extending through the fingers, and exhale, drop the right fingertips down or rest the right elbow onto the knee and come into your side angle. Left fingertips reaching high. Inhale, and exhale, rise back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg and tilt the right fingertips down into a triangle pose. Inhale, open up through the chest and the hips. Exhale out through the mouth. One more deep breath in. And exhale, bend through the right knee, come into your warrior two. Inhale, reach the fingertips high, turn the right toes in, and exhale, wide-legged forward fold, dropping the hands down onto the mat. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold down. Maybe grabbing onto the ankles or sending the fingertips through the legs if that feels good. Inhale, and exhale. Great job. And then walk those hands back to the right foot. Turn the right toes forward and rise up into your warrior two. Inhale, and exhale. Cartwheel the hands down, step the right foot back. Maybe drop the knees down or maybe keep them high for your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left toes high for three-legged dog. And exhale, step the foot in between the hands, drop the back knee and toes, and find your version of low lunge. Hands on the blocks, on the mats, or lifted high. Slightly pulling the left hip back. Inhale. Exhale, getting that deep lunge with the hips. One more deep breath in. And exhale, hands to heart center. Bring that right elbow over to the left knee and find a twisted low lunge. Opening up the heart to the left. Inhale. And exhale. Great job. One more deep breath in. And exhale, plant the hands beside the foot. Send the hips back and find your half split, lifting the left toes away from the mat. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold down, opening up through the left hamstring. Inhale, slowly bend back into the left knee. Tuck the back toes and rise up into your high crescent lunge. Lifting tall with the fingertips, squaring off the hips, and sinking low into your lunge. Inhale. And exhale, open up for warrior two. Inhale, extending through the fingers. Exhale, flip the front palm and take it back for peaceful warrior. Inhale, reaching. And exhale, come over into your version of side angle. So the elbows either rested on the knee or reaching the left fingertips down onto a block or onto the mat. Reaching the right fingertips high, opening up through the left hip. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, rise back up for warrior two. Extend through the left leg. And exhale, reach those left fingertips down, coming into a triangle pose. Inhale, reaching high. Exhale it out. Great job. One more deep breath here. Inhale. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach the fingertips high, turn the left toes in, and exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, and find your version of this posture. Hands to the mat, to the ankles, or sent through the legs. Inhale, and exhale. Great job. Walk the hands back over to the left foot. Rise up into your warrior two. Inhale, extending through the fingertips. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down, step the foot back, and take your version of a vinyasa flow. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look to the top of the mat, and exhale, step or hop into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold back down. Slightly bend the knees. Inhale, rise up for extended mountain, and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach it high, interlace the fingers, and exhale, tilt to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, take it to the left, opening up the right side of the body. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, sit back into a chair pose, bending at the knees, bringing the hips low, checking that you can see the toes beyond the knees, opening up the chest. Inhale, using strength through the legs. Exhale, sinking just a little bit lower in your chair. One more deep breath in, and exhale, fold down. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold. Lift the right toes away from the mat and step back into a high crescent lunge. Inhale, and exhale, bend the elbows into cactus arms, sinking a little bit lower in your lunge, leaning back slightly. Inhale, shining the chest forward, and exhale, reach the fingertips high, drop the back heel into warrior one. So keeping the hips turned towards the front and keeping the back toes at about a 45-degree angle. Inhale, and exhale, bring the fingertips behind the back, interlace the fingers, and exhale, fold down into a humble warrior, reaching through the knuckles, bringing that chest beside the left leg. Inhale, and exhale, rise back up and open into a warrior two. Inhale, and exhale, cartwheel the hands down, step the left foot back, and take a vinyasa flow. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look to the top of the mat, and exhale, step or hop into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, reach the fingertips high, and exhale, sit back into your chair pose, coming a little bit lower than you did before, reaching tall with those fingertips and sinking low with the hips. Inhale, and exhale, engaging the core. You got it. One more deep breath. Inhale, and exhale, fold down. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, plant the hands, step that left foot all the way back and rise up into a high lunge. Inhale and exhale, bend the elbows, coming into cactus arms, slightly leaning back, shining the chest forward. Inhale and exhale, reach it high, drop the back heel and come into warrior one. Opening up through the chest, inhale and exhale, bring the fingertips back, interlace them, and come down into your humble warrior. Bringing the wrists together, and again reaching through those knuckles. Inhale. Exhale, sink the hips just a little bit lower. Great job. One more deep breath here. Inhale. And exhale, open up all the way into a warrior two. Inhale, extending through the fingertips. And exhale, cartwheel the hands down, step the right foot back, and take your vinyasa flow. Ending back into your downward facing dog, taking a moment there to maybe walk out your dog or find stillness in this pose. Spread the fingertips out wide and reach that chest in towards the legs. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, look to the top of the mat, and exhale, step or hop into your forward fold. Release the hips all the way down onto the mat, and hug the knees in front of you. Inhale, reach the fingertips back, and exhale, reach them forward, arching through the spine, chin to chest, and then slowly release the back down onto the mat. Pulling the knees back into the chest whenever you've made it. Giving those knees a hug, maybe rocking from side to side if that feels good. Inhale and exhale. Pull the right knee into the chest and release the left toes long. Use the left hand to guide the knee across the body. And the gaze falls to the right, finding a supine twist. Close the eyes and breathe into this posture for a moment. Inhaling and exhaling. Great job. One more deep breath in. And exhale, slowly pull that right knee back into the chest, release the right toes, and pull the left knee into the chest. Use the right hand to guide the knee across the body, left fingertips coming out long, and find your supine twist on the opposite side. Close the eyes and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Take a moment to relax the muscles. Move deeper into this posture. Be present in this moment. One more deep breath in. And exhale, pull the knee back into the chest. Release the foot long and find your final resting posture in Shavasana or corpse pose. Closing the eyes and letting the body begin to just melt into the mat. While we close out our practice today, I'm going to leave you with 2 questions to rest on, to take some moments of reflection today. What things are difficult for you to do on a daily basis because it feels like nothing comes from doing it? How can you continue to show love to those around you, even when they don't seem to recognize it? God, we need you. Sometimes it is so hard to be persistent, to stay the course, to be obedient to what you've called us to, because we don't see people responding to it or being affected by it. God, sometimes it seems like we try and we work and nothing comes from it. But God, help us to be faithful. Help us to trust that you might do things that we would have never expected, that you have a greater plan. And God, help us to have your patience. Lord, you see our failures. You see where we've fallen short. But God, you still choose us, and you call us to love others in the same way. But Lord, this is not an easy command, but it is a challenge. So through it, I just ask for your guidance. Touch all of our hearts. Reveal to us when we haven't been patient. And if there's someone in our life that you're asking us to just be persistent through showing love, God, it's worth it. We give it all to you and for your glory. It's in your name that we pray. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me today for our day 4 in this series, and I look forward to seeing you next time.